All right. We got Uncle Ripple, Jacomus, Clavimus, Ripplemus, commander of the U.S. of the XRP Army. Could Ripple decrease supply by locking up XRP into Flare? Win-win for ecosystems and holders. I think that they will. So this continues to go back to XRP being collateral. I think that that's what people miss. There's the original outset, and I had this conversation on the node. The original outset for XRP was a DEX that allowed for interoperability between issued assets or other tokenized assets to be able to settle them between counterparties, which works great, right? Like you only have to hold the XRP for a very short period of time, but it also, if there's a lot of XRP out there, it doesn't require a super high price in order to be able to facilitate that. Now, I was in a space yesterday with Versan, shout out to him, and he actually made a really good point. Liquidity begets liquidity. So as things start to move through a certain corridor, whatever that is, whether it's the US dollar or another mechanism by which things settle or trade, over time, more liquidity gets aggregated there. People want to hold that asset. And at a certain point, it becomes a very stable value, a high stable value, or riskless. And then there's additional incentive for people to hold that asset, and it becomes collateral. And that's where I think XRP is headed. You're already starting, you saw the interoperability between the XRPL and Solana. You're able to wrap XRP on Solana, you're able to wrap it on Flare. The institutions, I believe, will want to hold it on their balance sheet to be able to utilize it for derivatives and other purposes. And I think the majority of the XRP is going to be locked up. I don't think that there's going to be much available on the open market to be able to settle transactions at scale globally as we see things play out. And so, based on a lot of conversations I've had, I will say that Ripple and other counterparties are all for locking up as much XRP as possible.